text messages is not for conversation. Text messages is for setting up dates, setting up appointments. That's not for conversations. You text her and tell her when to call you or when y'all gonna have a conversation. But that constant access to you is non-sexual attention.
Mm-hmm.
You can give that, think about it like this. You can give a woman all the non-sexual attention in the world, right? Think about how often you talk to a woman. Well, I say when you before you woke up or whatever. How often did you talk to a woman? A lot, right? Compared to how often you slept with a woman. Mm. Now, I guarantee you have never been accused of only wanting to talk. Yet, you talk to her 10 times more than you have sex with her. But just because you want to have sex, you get accused of only wanting sex. When it's like it's really like a 10-to-1 ratio, maybe even more than 10-to-1. But let's just say, conservatively, it's a 10-to-1 ratio, how much you talk. I'm talking about hours compared to a 20-minute screw session. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast, your source for living a healthier lifestyle and developing a better mind, body, and soul. Through guidance, tips, and stories of highly successful fitness gurus, athletes, and individuals who are passionate about enhancing all aspects of life. We provide you with the tools to help you take your lifestyle to another level. And now your host, Quinn Mitchell.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. This is your host, Quinn Mitchell. Today I have a very special guest. The date doctor, also known as King Chris, has come to join me on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me here.
No problem. So for people not familiar with you, would you mind giving a brief introduction about yourself?
Pretty much, man. I'm an old school player, man. King Chris, you can find me on Instagram, CING Chris. Now, I spelled it incorrectly on purpose because you could be one of many or you could be the one and only. I choose to be the one and only. Now, I also have a character called the Date Doctor where basically I just give game. I've seen there's a lack in the game now, so I want to give game. I'm not trying to disrespect or be dishonest to any kind of woman or nothing like that. But I think I see a lot of sucker shit going on, and I think that it's time the realness to come back. I also have a podcast every Monday night, Black Super Friends Podcast. Check that out on Instagram, Facebook. We stream from Spotify. We stream on YouTube. Just check that out every Monday night, 9 p.m. Black Super Friends Podcast.
Yes, sir. And I'll definitely have that in the description below. So, my man, I just want to jump into things. So, really, what really started? What made you get into the date doctor? Let's say, what made you bring that out?
Well, honestly, man, I've been single now over a decade. Like my baby mama was my last relationship, and I said to myself, I'm not good at this. You know what I'm saying? I suck at relationships, and I think it's time. And I think it was time to really study and figure out why. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I spent 10 years collecting data, and last year I got into entrepreneurship. I started my own pickup and delivery business, and I really started studying entrepreneurship. And one of the first things they talked about was passive income, right? The best way to make passive income is doing something that you love to do. You know what I'm saying? Like just doing something that comes easy to you. And if you could get that off of the internet or writing books like I read your book, The Blueprint. Yeah, that way. So I like this. I want to get into that. So I decided that, you know what? Let me create a character called a date doctor. Let me create a theme. I call it minute clinics. So that way I can give you palatable bits of the game in 1 minute form. So it's easy to digest. Because a lot of time people attention span is low. So I want to give you something that is easy to digest and the investment is low for you. I say if this video helps you, send $1 to the cash out. I got that technique from watching other motivational speakers, and they were saying that you want to give it away for free, and then it will monetize itself. So That's basically what we doing now.
And the crazy part is the reason why I brought you on the show, because like I said, my man, as you know, DT, I had him on former episodes. He talked highly of you, so I'm glad you came on the show. And one of the things I really appreciate about your videos is like you give raw game. Like you got dating coaches out here called dating professionals. They give advice to things they know nothing about, or they tell it to the audience that they want to hear. Like with the game you spit, bro, it's like you don't care if it don't please women or not, because you're telling the raw truth.
Yeah. Well, I think that the thing about it is this: I'm not a dating coach. I'm a professional advice giver. You know what I'm saying? I understand that I cannot look at it through a woman's perspective. I understand that. I think that that's a waste of time. So I think the best way you need to do is understand the game from a man's perspective. I believe that you should be a female observer, and just you wanna try to study female behavior instead of trying to all this other crap, these tricks. Just study female behavior and be honest about your findings. That's the hardest part is men being honest about their findings. The ugly truth is one of the worst things. So people like to hide from it, but if you truly study female behavior and be honest with your findings, it'll help you out in this dating world.
Hey, and that brings us to the first question I want to ask you. What is it that men really don't understand about women?
Well, what I think first is what men don't understand about women is they make it about women. It is absolutely not about women. That's the number one thing. It's about you. This has nothing to do with women. It's about your self-improvement. It's about your physical appearance. It's about your financial status, and it's about your status overall. If you focus on that, then you don't have to worry about understanding women. You know what I'm saying? The game, what I think is men try to become female mechanics, right? They get with females and they want to fix shit. They want to start looking up under the hood and changing this and twerking that and replacing that. That's not your job. It's not your job to understand females. Females have a unique experience in this world that a man simply can't duplicate. That's why I tell guys not to let women tell you what a real man is. They never spent a day as a man. And you have to understand the same thing. You never spent a day as a woman, so you don't understand. So it makes no sense. And it's a waste of time to try to understand women. What I think you should understand is yourself. That's the first thing to understand. I'll give you an example. You act a certain way with women that is, let's say, low sevens and under. You act a certain way. You handle them. You conduct yourself with more confidence. You more stand up. You're more assertive. You make more statements than asking questions. You have more what I call a fearless mindset. You don't care if you lose her, because in your mind you think, I can get another 7. I can get another 6. That's not. What did I do to get her? I didn't do nothing to get her. I just swipe right on Tinder or whatever. So at the end of the day, you go into it with that perspective. The problem is when we start to go at 8 and up, we do the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? We texting more. We want to call all the time. We come off as real insecure. And that's the problem. You have to find a way to, the same way you conduct yourself with a 7 and down, you got to conduct yourself the same way with a 8 and up. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole key to it. And it's basically about, the thing is this: women will tell you that they're different. When you're dating women, they'll tell you that they're different. But women don't actually date women for the most part. So they don't know. They have no idea. If you date women, you understand that there's a lot of similarities between women. So it ain't them, it's you. It's you act a different way when you're dating women. You conduct yourself in a different way when you're dating women 7 and down than when you do it 8 and up. So the trick is to act the same way.
It's crazy that you say that, because the first chapter of my book is knowing yourself. It's like if you don't know yourself and you don't know who you are as a man, I want to say in my younger days, it'll been times when maybe when I understand how females work. So say if I got with a bad chick, there'll be times she'd be like, oh yeah, go cut your hair like this. And I'll go cut my hair like that. Dress a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But then when you find yourself, regardless of if I'm with a 10 or with a 7, I'm the same person regardless. So but a lot of men aren't like that.
Yeah, and that's a sad thing, man. Like a lot of men, with the emergence of females, with the femininity movement, men start to act towards that way. You know what I'm saying? They think that you can tell from the way they text. Men be texting girly like things and stuff like that, and so they start to think like women. Like they think that whatever that she say, that's what I'm supposed to do. And you got to think about how we grow up. Think about the shows that we watched when we were growing up. Most people, I'm a little older than you, but I watched Family Matters. That was Steve Urkel.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Urkel was constantly chasing Laura. Mm-hmm. We grow up on this fairy tale when it's actually not like that. That's why I tell men that they need to be female. They need to study female behavior. Then they will see that the truth is, whatever you was taught before, it ain't really like that at all. So that's what I suggest.
Hey, so the next question I want to ask you is this, right? So speaking on the social media aspect, right? I know I didn't put this on the list of topics to talk about, but you just brought it up. How do you think social media has really impacted the way the dating game is nowadays for females? Because before, back in the day, there was no Tinder, there was no Bumble. So you got a girl that's a 6, and when she go out in real life, she knows she is 6. But now you got dudes on social media, due to social media, you got dudes gassing these girls' heads up. That's the 6s, thinking they 10s now, and now it's a whole different ball game. So, what is your input on that?
Well, the thing is this: like we can't look a good horse in the mouth. I say it like that. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. That those guys, as much as we think they may mess up the game, they make the game better for us. If you don't attack the game with that lane, you stand out from all the others. So let them continue to do that. Women evolve a lot faster than men, so they pick up on that game. They understand that that's what men do. Look, you're not going to fool a woman to think that she's a 10 when she knows she's a 6. Mm-hmm. You the one telling her she's a 6. Yeah, I mean she's a 10. Mm-hmm. You the one doing that. She knows. She looks at herself in the mirror more than you do. She knows what she is. It's the guys that's telling her she's a 10. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is stop doing that. What you need to do is figure out how you need to attract her. How can you attract her? The best way to attract her is through self-improvement. You have to just like setting a debate. You have to bait the trap for her to come in. So you have to improve on yourself. It's not about worrying about what other dudes doing to gas her up. It's about improving yourself to a level where she comes to you. And I'm not saying that she's going to completely come to you, but she's going to put herself in your area, make herself available for you to holler at her. And when you do holler at her, just don't do the same thing that those guys are doing. Simple as that.
No, you're right about that. So my next question for you is, even when it comes to online dating, what do you think are some of the biggest obstacles that men face, and how should they overcome those obstacles?
Okay, here we go. The biggest obstacle about online dating is women have all the leverage, as opposed to when you meet a woman in person. You have the advantage. When you meet a woman in person, it's 50-50. She's gonna give you the number or she's not gonna give you the number. It's simple. Why is your advantage? Because she gets to see your physical appearance. She get to hear the bass in your voice. She get to smell your cologne. She get to gauge your confidence by the way you approach her. So you're at an advantage there. Have you ever noticed your success rate of getting the number is higher when you meet women in person instead of online? You got to think how many times you like online, but you done heard a lot of no's. You done heard a lot of let's talk on here for a little longer and stuff like that. In person, it's either yes or no. So your success rate is a lot easier in person, right? But the thing online is the women control the environment. She controls that. long as you stay online, she controls everything. She has unlimited prospects online. But you got to ask yourself, why is she online? Now, notice I said ask yourself and not her, because asking her make you look real insecure. But ask yourself, why is she online? Let's just say she's because it's not, let's just say she's a 7 to 10. Mm-hmm. It's not from lack of men hollering at her. She can go to the grocery store. She can go to the gas station, church, school, everywhere men is hollering at her. So it's not a lack of men hollering at her. Mm-hmm. It's free attention online. Mm-hmm. That is what she gets from online, free attention. Mm-hmm. And the thing about men is we get that shit away. We just give it away. It's for free. It's like a free attention buffet. You know what I'm saying? So we constantly giving it away. The thing is, what men got to understand is that's your leverage. That's your collateral. That is your exchange for sex, basically. I like to call it non-sexual energy. Mm. Your non-sexual energy is what you exchange for sexual energy for the most part. So you got to be really, really cautious about that. But understand, you know how many you beautiful, gorgeous, babe, boo, good morning, alphas for dates, sexual favors is in her graveyard, her inbox. You're not gonna get nowhere just by doing that. There's a million of that. She got a graveyard of inboxes full of those. So that's not the thing that you want to do. So my solution to this is this. Get her offline as soon as possible. Remember, online, she has leverage. In person, you do. Text messages is not for conversation. Text messages is for setting up dates, setting up appointments. That's not for conversations. You text her and tell her when to call you or when y'all gonna have a conversation. But that constant access to you is non-sexual attention. Mm-hmm. You can give that, think about it like this. You can give a woman all the non-sexual attention in the world, right? Think about how often you talk to a woman. Well, I say before you woke up or whatever. How often did you talk to a woman? A lot, right? Compared to how often you slept with a woman. Mm. Now, I guarantee you have never been accused of only wanting to talk. Yet, you talk to her 10 times more than you have sex with her. But just because you want to have sex, you get accused of only wanting sex. When it's like it's really like a 10-to-1 ratio, maybe even more than 10-to-1. But let's just say conservatively, it's a 10-to-1 ratio, how much you talk. I'm talking about hours compared to a 20-minute screw session. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But you never get accused of only want to talk, and that's like the craziest thing. So my solutions is the apps that you use. I say, I personally suggest Bumble, pretty much because Bumble makes the woman engage you first and initiate contact, and it's not because you're scared to initiate contact. It's because you're trying to gauge her interest level when she introduces herself to you. If she gives you a high, like you return that same energy to her. And then if she return you with an emoji or something low energy, what you do is you don't continue this conversation until she can put on her big girl panties and respect you like a self-respecting man. Yeah. What happens is men get so way too easy. They get a high. She gives you a high, you give her a paragraph. You know what I'm saying? She gives you a emoji, and you start to have a full-blown conversation with this woman. And she just gave you an emoji. She just gave you a high. She just gave you what do you do what's your job? Nursing. You know what I'm saying? And you're going over everything. You know what I'm saying? So that tends to be the problem. Like, you're so easily bought, and with Bumble you get to gauge that. So once you see her energy change with how she conduct herself with you, because once you return that energy, and then she send you another question, and you return that energy, she's got to make a decision now. Whether she's going to put on a big girl panties and have a conversation with you, or this shit going to be dead after that. Because after that, I suggest you send her your number. Say, call me when you're ready to have a conversation. That's what I say.
Hey, bro, it's crazy because all the points you speaking on, it's like I literally been preaching this for months. It's just crazy because when I think about it, you say you have a conversation. Even let's go back to even texting women. Guys are so programmed nowadays. Texting women, good morning, beautiful. How you doing today? This, that, and the third. Every day, spend hours on FaceTime. But then think about, like you said, how much ass is she really giving you off that? A lot of times also, which I wrote in the book, is when you texting a woman like this, I guarantee you, if you do this every day, she gonna stop responding to you, and eventually you gonna get butthurt and start blowing up her phone. So it's like it's used reverse psychology on you. Now you chasing her.
Well, I don't even understand how you can blow up a woman's phone. I don't get that. I've never done that. Like I haven't been advanced game my whole life, but I've always had enough self-respect to not blow up a woman's phone.
Yeah.
If you don't want me, I don't want you. Yeah. The problem is I used to take it a little bit further, but I never really blew up women's phone. At the end of the day, it's like, you got to understand that texting is not for conversations. That's the number one thing. Texting is not for conversations. Texting is simply for setting up dates, setting up appointments for business, basically. If she want to talk, the trick is to try to get her to come to you to talk. Mm-hmm. That's the trick. You want when she want conversation. That's why I think, one, you get off the app quick. Mm-hmm. You get the number quick. I suggest you give her a really intriguing conversation first, right? A really, really intriguing conversation. I have a history in narcotic, so I understand that, they're chasing a high, basically. What you want to do is have that first good conversation and have her chasing that high over and over again. So basically, now when she gets the next conversation, or when she continues to get she has to come to get the conversation. It has to be in person. So now you can, after that first initial, you give her a good conversation. I'm not saying you're trying to get the draws the first time. You're just trying to, you're giving a good conversation. The next time them conversations get shorter, and then you say, hey, look, come over. And that's when we're really going on this date, and that's when you get a conversation. Men have to always remember, you will never text a woman out of her drawers. You gotta talk her out of them. You can't text a woman out of her drawers. That's just not. It's nothing that you can pick up this phone and make her wet from. Literally, unless she's already into you. But initially, we're talking about dating. There's nothing that you can text her to get her like that. And we all know winner picks ain't the move at all.
Hey, and another thing I want to touch on too is when you go on, because one of my guys that come to I mentor, he had came to me. He was like, Quinn, every time I go chill with this girl, she not throwing me no ass. And my question to him is, so Chris, am I lying? If you chilling with a woman, so let's say if she attracted to you, but woman is not going to throw you her drawers. She's going to make you work for you. You basically got to finesse her out her drawers. So when you chilling with a woman, she's not going to be like, oh, here you go. You gotta sit there, make moves. But a lot of guys, they sit there, they're scared to even make the first move, or even when they do make the first move, they all shaky and nervous. Like they don't even know a woman's body, even what to do to get them to that. So could you just speak on that a little bit?
Well, I think I slightly disagree with you because you said you got to finesse them. Mm-hmm. What I think that you have to do is give her plausible deniability. Yeah. Period. Sometimes it's going to take some drinks. You know what I'm saying? Drink. Oh, I was drunk. Mm-hmm. Or maybe the time that you allow her to come over. Mm-hmm. There's certain times where she knows what time it is. But honestly, man, I'm sorry. I look at these things at a different perspective. I need those men to continue to exist. It makes it so much easier for us because we stand out. Now you don't imagine if it was a bunch of you, right? the techniques you have to check, the game would evolve so quickly that your techniques have to get so much better. Like, let's keep it real, Q. You ain't really finessing now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You really had this done. You really had this sealed at the date. You really had this thing sealed at the date. Going back home, you just got to make this situation comfortable and give some kind of plausible deniability.
Yeah.
The thing is, what makes it easy for you is those guys. Those guys are going to exist no matter what you do. You understand that those guys is what helps you out. That's why it comes so easy. It may comes a little easier. I don't want to say so easy because it's never so easy, but it may comes a little easier for you because you're not that guy. And she can smell it. She can sense it. She can sense. If it's one thing women can sense, is realness. They understand it, like bloodhounds to it. Tell you straight up.
You ain't lying though. So next question I want to ask you: what qualities should men look for in a woman nowadays? Because nowadays, you got social media. Women with social media, especially, they got them gassed up to they think they're Instagram models, whatnot. So what qualities do you think men should actually look for if they're out in the dating game looking for women to be with?
Me personally, I have just two. I keep it simple: respect and cooperation. Respect and cooperation. I personally don't speak on submission because I don't believe that when a person is submitting, they're not at their full potential. You know what I'm saying? They're not at their full essence. So I don't never require a woman to submit to me because I want the maximum amount of value out of her. So I never require submission. What I require is respect and cooperation. Because think about it like this. Look, me and you are like each other, right? We both love the ass. We both love titties. We both love, the face and stuff like that. But what is a big ass with a slick ass mouth? Waste of time. What is a woman that can cook amazing but disrespect you in front of your homeboys? What is a rich woman that on the phone just she doesn't even respect nothing you got going on? Anytime I'm going to start my interview vlogs, that ain't going to work. Why are you wasting your time? You know what I'm saying? She doesn't even believe in you. So the number one thing is respect and cooperation. Everything else is a distant third. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. But this is what men just has to understand. Women want to get the highest value man for the cheapest price. That's just what it is. She's trying to get the highest value man for the cheapest possible price. So if she can get you with just some ass, she'll take it. If she can get a ring off of just some ass, she'll take it. If she can get a ring off of 6 months of dating, if she get a relationship out of 3 months of dating, she wants the highest quality man for the cheapest price. And that's why I constantly tell men, don't be bought so easily. Don't be won over so easily. And that's just simply what it is, man. That's how I look at it. Respect and cooperation.
No, because I know you keep it real. I just want to speak on this because not a lot of people are quote unquote scared to speak on it, but I've shed my light on it a couple of times. How do you personally feel about dealing with masculine women that take on that quote unquote masculine role when they're talking to men? Let's say.
What's that?
So when women try to be like men or they try to take on a role. So you know how quote unquote gender roles. So being like, I'll go pay for the date, or I basically a woman running the pants in a relationship. But because you know some men are cool with that. Some men will follow behind a woman's lead. But I just want to ask you, because you're OG, how do you really feel about that?
Well, I don't believe in the concept of masculine women. I believe in aggravating, loudmouth women. They can move into the masculine energy, but I don't believe in masculine women. I think that a masculine energy man that's willing to willing to implement strategies to get her. They're willing to invest enough time to get her. He's the masculine one. You're gonna see the difference. The thing is, I think that we can't believe. You said something about paying for the date. Now I don't say that. I don't think you should be fighting a woman for the check.
No, of course.
I just don't. What I think is you should expect to pay for every date, and you should try to pay for every date. What you don't want, you don't care about the financial investment that a woman puts into the date. You care about the investment in time and effort. That's what you worry about. You want her to get dressed, look nice, and come to you. If you're 45 minutes away, you want her to come to you because she's now investing her time and effort into this. So that's what you're looking for. You don't care so much about her paying for dates. Now again, I don't suggest you wrestle her for the ticket, for the check. Yeah. But if we're talking about dating here, dating has an expense. That's just what it is. If you don't want to pay an expense, get the hell out of dating because it does cost. What I suggest you do is keep your investment as low as you possibly can, and from there, understand that. But all that masculine women shit, that's in your mind, bro. That's not a true thing. It's just not a true thing. Does she play basketball or something? Is she boxing or something like that? Like, who did you meet? Like, how tall is she? Is she 5'2"? What you mean, masculine woman? But what is she like? Even Meg Thee Stallion got out the car. You know what I'm saying? But we'll try to walk away. Like, what's masculine women? And she's a stallion. She about 6, whatever. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you know how women try to take lead in relationships. Like, so let's say a woman try to make all the decisions in a relationship. Like, you know, when I mentioned earlier, when I didn't know any better, when I was dealing with 9s and 10s, you know, with the women that are like, oh yeah, you should wear your hair this way, you should dress a certain way. Now, how do you feel about those type of women?
Well, I think that those women exist for a reason, man, to be honest with you. I think, like, she's trying to see if you're going to stand up for yourself. She's trying to see that. Like, she's telling you to change your hair. How did you get her? How was your hair when you got her?
Yeah.
She likes something about your hair. She wants you to change this. How did you get her? You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that these are just what I call strength tests. Like, how strong are you? What is your, and I'm not talking about, you know, how much weight you can lift. I'm talking about your mental strength, your emotional intelligence, your masculine integrity. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's testing. So when she tells you to change something, what are you going to say? If you're going to just go with it, alarms just ring off in her head. And she's like, oh, okay. Let me push a little more. Then you get Rick Ross. Push it to the limit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So next thing I want to ask you, so when it comes to dating in general, you know, with women, they often throw tests at you. So, like, showing up late on dates, being disrespectful, like text, we'll say if you guys are at the dinner, she all on the phone the whole time. So how should men handle those type of situations? Because a lot of men, they don't know any better. They just accept it and just continue on in the relationship. But
which one you want me to tackle first?
You can talk whichever one, man.
Late is unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? Late is unacceptable. I mean, that's really on you. Like, again, like I speak on dating logistics. Get her to come to you. So that way late isn't that big of a deal because you drove 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You drove to your nearest TGI Fridays or whatever the case may be. She drove 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever the case may be. She made the time effort. 2, I think the cutoff is 10 minutes. That's just me. That's how I feel. The cutoff is 10 minutes. You may not want to get that far. I'm just being a nice guy today. So I think the cutoff is 10 minutes. But you can tell late in trying. Like, late is, I'm sorry, I'm just this, you know, constant texts and stuff like that. That's late. I mean, that's something that you can excuse. But just blatant, I'm late, nah, you don't excuse that. What was the other one you said?
Or a woman are texting on their phone when you out to dinner, she always on her phone responding.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. What you do is this. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you get your waitress or waiter attention. You pay for whatever has been bought from there, and you leave the restaurant. You leave the restaurant. Here's the thing. I can't give teaching for soft, scary men. I just can't do it. I don't know how to help the men. What I think is respect or nothing. Period. If she's doing that, I don't go back and forth with women. I just don't. I think it's the biggest waste of time. Women are trying to engage your emotions. Once she engage your emotions, she knows something. So I don't go back and forth with women. If I see that, fine. Let me get up. Let me go to the bathroom. Or you go to the hostess and say, hey, look, I gotta check it. I really gotta go, but I gotta check on table, whatever. I would like to pay it, and you leave. You just leave. Simple as that. And let that phone ring and ring and ring and ring and ring and ring, and that's what she'll get the message. Straight up.
Hey, but it's like, I appreciate you giving this input because, like I said, just speaking on real game, like me and you having this conversation right here, a lot of people don't even get that kind of advice. And really, when you said respect or nothing, that's really like a literal lifestyle, because a lot of girls will take advantage of that if the guy doesn't know any better, and they'll keep disrespecting him. And I know guys that will literally get disrespected. Like I've seen a guy's been in relationships where a girl just cuss him out in their face, and they going back and forth having a shower match. And it's like, to me, I'm not having a shower match with him. I'm not even arguing with him. If it gets to that point, I'll just leave. And however she gonna make it up if I entertain it at that point. But it's like a lot of guys don't even have that kind of mindset that we have.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Nowadays, women have a lot more nuts than men do, and that's a shame. You know what I'm saying? But it's basically the mindset, man. I call it. You can have two mindsets: the fearless mindset or the fear more mindset. If you're fearless, if you feel like respect or nothing, then you're just not taking it, because you have to understand, like, man, look, the numbers are in your favor. Everything is in your favor as a man. Just keep it real. To be honest with you, everything is in your favor. There's more of them, and there's a new crop graduating from college every single year. You know what I'm saying? They make them younger. They make them look better. So you never, depending on your amount of success, you never have to truly worry about women getting with a woman. You can chill out when you're 50 if you want to. It doesn't matter. The point is, the two things that the world will never run out of is women and water. It's not. They're gonna always be more of them. So, and as for brothers, we have the fortunate ability to attract all types of women. You know what I'm saying? I prefer black women, but we have the ability to attract all types of women. Now, the thing about it is this: you have to understand that if you are not the person that wants the relationship or marriage, you always have the leverage. That person always have to basically show you why you should give your life to them. So you're always in a good position. You just have to stop with the scarcity mindset. You got to stop with that fear mindset. That fear more mindset is what I'm saying. Like, bro, I tell people, you worried about losing her. How did you get her? Did you climb Mount Everest? Did you slay a fire dragon? No, you swipe right on Tinder. That's it. You inboxed her. Late night, you was, coming from a party, you inboxed her because she sent this type of picture or whatever. You didn't do too much to get her. You said hello. So what makes you think you're not going to be able to duplicate that same exact result when all you did was say hello in aisle 9 at the supermarket? Or she was at the gas station, bro. You was like, I see you hoop. You going to hoop. You stop to get gas, and there she is right there. Yeah. Like, you didn't have to win the national championship to get her. You just stopped to get some gas. Yeah. So how hard would it be to get another one. Your mindset has to change. You can get another one. But the more you have that mindset of, look, it's either you ride with me or you're not, the more I see in my studies, women tend to gravitate more to that mindset, to that masculinity. That's all I think it is. A lot of people say toxic masculinity. I don't believe that there's a such thing as toxic masculinity. I said this on one of my podcast. I don't believe in toxic masculinity because I don't believe there's nothing wrong with masculinity. Put it like this: if it's nothing, if the root of the word is nothing wrong with it, you can't put toxic in front of it and make it bad. I'll give you an example. Appreciation. There's no such thing as toxic appreciation. For toxic belief. Not belief, I would have said like you understand what I'm saying. Like once a word has no negative thing, nothing negative about it, you can't throw toxic in front of it and make it negative. There's nothing wrong with masculinity. And by definition, masculinity is nothing but characteristics of men. So you can't put toxic in front of it and make it masculinity. I mean, make it bad. Masculinity is what you need to exude all the time. That's what you need to exude all the time. You know what I'm saying? So again, change your mindset.
And it's crazy that you speak on that because I find, like, to me, I appreciate you, like you OGs, like you DT, my pops, because it's like there's not a lot of actual like men out here that can be role models that guys like myself, even or that's younger than me, could even look up to, because you got toxic masculinity, but masculinity itself is being stripped from so many men, period. So it's like a man doesn't even know how to be a man anymore. It's like they don't know who to look to or how to be a man, because that's not praised anymore because of these toxic masculinity. So I'm glad you brought that up.
But that's the thing, like toxic masculinity. I think that when I talk to women about toxic masculinity, they describe it to me, because I tell them to describe it to me. They tell me what it is. I say, well, that already has a name. That's chauvinism. Yeah. That's misogyny. You know what I'm saying? They already have a name. Toxic masculinity is not chauvinism or misogyny. I don't suggest being chauvinistic. I don't suggest being misogynistic. I don't suggest being disrespectful. I suggest being in total control of yourself and being the CEO of your life. No one else can run that. Only you. So as far as men have all these stresses with women, is because they define themselves, they view themselves through the lens of a woman. I'm not telling you nothing is bad about women. I'm just saying they're different from you. They cannot tell you how to be a man because they never spent a day being a man. They have no idea. Stop letting women tell you how to be a man. A lot of it has to do with us also with not giving back to mentor. Like that ain't your fault. That's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Don't you ever think that's your fault. That's my fault for not coming back and reaching back to you. That's my fault if you was my kid and not being in your life. You know what I'm saying? That's not your fault. That's our fault. We did that. We allowed you to come up on the music that you come up on. We came up on a totally different music. Now again, it wasn't good, but it put you in a different mindset. So our women treated us a different way. We allowed you to come up on a music that's more, I would say, junky instead of Dilla. That's what I say. Because it's more about, let me give you money. Let me put you on this highest pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying anything bad or generally wrong with women. I'm just saying, bro, be a man. Be a man first. That's all I'm saying. And once you get the game, each one teach one. You come back and you impart that in a young OG and let him come up to be just like you.
Hey man, there's so many more topics we gotta discuss. I might definitely have to get you here for part 2. But the last question I want to ask you before I let you go is, excuse me, what is the number one thing a guy does that, or what should I? Or let me rephrase that. What's the number one thing that a guy lacks or he does that is the reason why he can't keep a female in his life?
Okay. First of all, you can't keep nothing that don't want to be caught. That's just the number one thing. I mean, kept. You can't catch nobody that don't want to start running. My thing is, why do you even want to keep her? Like, why do you want to keep her? Women are hard to keep. Like,
but or let me rephrase it for you, because you guys can't even sustain women. And like so let's say you have a rotation. Let's say you're in the dating game and you have a rotation in women. Guys don't even know how to, like, let's say you get a 10. They fuck it up so much that they can't even keep that 10 in their rotation. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think is one reason why they can't or they don't know how to?
Because they're trying to. They're actively trying to keep a woman. Again, remember at the beginning, I said it's not about the woman, it's about you. Your only job, let me just keep it real with you. Your only job is to intrigue and stimulate women. That's your only job. Everything else is after that. Intrigue and stimulate women. That's the number one job that you have. If you continuously do that, you're never going to have to worry about keeping a woman. Your problem is going to be getting rid of women. That's going to be your problem. How do you intrigue and stimulate women? Improving yourself. Success, the spoils of success is women. Period. The spoils of success is women. The more successful you are, the more access to women you're going to have. So if the constant focus is on being more successful, improving yourself, you're not going to have to lose women. And if you do lose women, think about it like this. The only women that you have a hard time keeping is the ones that want to go. And if she want to go, then you let her go. It's like an employee, giving you your 2 weeks notice, right? A lot of jobs fire your ass right there because they feel like, what value are you going to give me in 2 weeks? Because mentally, you already checked out. You're done. So anytime a woman want to go, let her go. Just let her go. What is the value of a woman that doesn't want to be there? That's like a guy. You play ball. That's like a guy asking for a trade. Constantly asking for a trade. What is the value? He's already checked out. What is the value that you're gonna get out of this man? And he's ready to go. So any woman, let her go, dog. That ain't your dog. You know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta keep it. Like, bro, if she wants to go, let her go. Worry about the more you improve yourself, soon as she leave, there will be another one to replace her.
But OG, let me ask you though. I know that was my last question, but I just wanted to.
That's all good. Let's keep it going. I ain't got nothing.
So, but you know a lot of guys, but you know we can't help these type of dudes, but there's a lot of guys that get emotionally attached.
Yeah.
So you saying letting it go to me, I'm getting that. But a guy that may be listening, he may not get it because, like I said, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Once a girl give a guy some pussy, it's like now they really, if they not used to getting it as it is, it's a whole different ball game. So you said, well, no, you talk about improving and working on yourself, but how can a guy keep himself from getting mentally attached to that, so he can be able to let it go?
Again, I think that for the most part is your approach. Like, again, you gotta continue to keep the attitude of with sevens and downs or sixes and downs. You gotta keep that attitude. The reason why that works is because your mind is focused on something else. You have priorities. You have bigger priorities. So if you keep it on that, you kind of keep yourself emotionally detached a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, and she constantly gonna be trying to get to that number one spot. You ever heard a woman say that you can't put me second? That's because she wants to be the center of your life. And the thing is, if she's interested in you, she's gonna constantly be doing that. But that's what keeps her around, is that she's trying to constantly get something. Women are very driven. That's why you see women have more degrees than us, work at jobs longer than us. They're very, very driven, especially in our culture. But they have to have a goal. You have to constantly, if you give a woman a goal, she will constantly strive to get that goal. We are so easily won that once we stop becoming the catch, then why should she continue to, chase us? Why should she continue to try to vie for our time? And that's the only way. But dog, it's the hardest thing in the world. Like, I'm not telling you this because I know I'm some genius. I done fucked up so many times.
Yeah.
Like that, I done messed up so many times. That's how I get this knowledge. Not because I'm smart, but I dropped out of college. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a smart guy. I'm not a great looking guy. I'm not a super rich guy. But I study female behavior. That's it. And I'm absolutely honest with my findings. When I get my findings, it's just like I say, I keep on referring to you hooping. It's just like game tape. Watch the game tape. If he goes left, take one dribble and pull up, then you know exactly when the game comes. Every time he goes left, he's going to take one dribble and pull up. You know what I'm saying? Study your game tape. That's your dates. That's your homeboy dates. That's your uncle situation. That's you. How do you act with the red ones? How do you act with the dark ones? How do you act with the thick ones? How do you act? But you gotta have some case studies. I think that's why I never I never said anything bad about the player lifestyle, because I think that players, all they doing is collecting data. That's what players do. They collect data. Anytime, because they want to make the best decision, especially when it comes to who they choose to be with. And I think that's the number one decision that you can make in your life. So anytime you make a decision, let's just leave relationships out of it, or dating out of it, or women out of it. Anytime you make a decision, an important decision, you're gonna get, the more knowledge that you have on the subject, you can make a better decision. That's why you have to use these dates. You have to use these relationships. You got to watch your homeboy. You got to watch marriage. You got to watch all these things, and you got to study female behavior. What do they watch? Women can be very have misdirection. You know what I'm saying? Women will tell you that she's not into a man that's misogynistic or chauvinistic. You get in her car and she's playing some of the most dirtiest, nastiest music in the world. She tell you that she's not into drama. What does she watch on TV? The stuff that she watches on TV is full of drama. Killing husbands, beating up on wives, and Atlanta housewives, and so you can't always listen to what a woman say. You have to study her behavior. Once you study that, that's where you get the answers. But you gotta somewhat take your focus off getting the draws. You have to study the actual woman, and then you'll have better results.
Listen, like I said, OG, there's so much that you just dropped that we gotta dive into a part 2. But just, I just want to talk, because I know you're an entrepreneur. So I just want to switch the lanes real quick, and I just want to ask you, what's like a typical day like for you on a day-to-day?
Well, I'm honestly, I like to be honest about things. I'm still 9 to 5 and 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on these multiple streams of income. So a typical day for me is, first, I believe in being a 5 o'clocker. You know what I'm saying? I think I heard this from E.T., the hip hop preacher. One of his motivational speeches. Being a 5 o'clock. So you want to wake up a little early. Wake up early and start to plan your day. What do you have planned? Like today, I said, okay, well, what I have to do today is I got a interview at 8:30. So what I'm gonna do is get up in the morning and go back over the questions, kind of, jog my memory. Write key notes into my phone. I'm gonna get done with my job, because I believe that a job, if you're still working, because I definitely suggest you, if you're working, you have a plan to be a exit plan, right? So, because your job is the gas you put in the car to get to where you're going. Boom. So boom, you once you finish that, it's not about 9 to 5. It's more about 6 to 12. That's what it's about. 6 to 12. What do you do? It's from 6 to 12. How much time are you going to put into your business, your entrepreneurship? How much time are you going to put into your long-term streams of income? This is something that I plan on. This is a long-term stream of income. What we're doing now is we're trying to generate money from what we think. You know what I'm saying? Basically the easiest way. I want to get paid. You want to get paid for what you think and what you say. So, but that takes time. So that's what we're doing now. We're putting those building blocks together. So I think the first thing is first, plan your day. The best way to plan is put priorities first. What's the most important thing that you need to get done? Get it done today. But whatever you're trying to do, whatever it is, you can't say, I'm going to do this much and this much. You got to say that I'm going to do it every single day. The dedication is every single day. People like to work out, but then they say, I'm going to work out Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, whatever. If you say, I'm going to work out every day, I may go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to work out every day. I don't care if that's 10 squats. I don't care if that's 10 push-ups. Walk a mile. It doesn't matter. The point is, whatever it is every day. So if you got a business, work on it every day. If you writing a book, work on it every day. If you doing vlogs, work on it every single day. Every day. If you do a little every day, it ends up to be a lot in the long run.
And I appreciate you dropping down, because like I said, a lot of people, they look for this type of knowledge, but they don't know where to get it. And I appreciate you just coming on the show, taking time out your night to even just drop downs and come on the show. And one last thing I want to ask, that I'll ask all my guests really, is what is the one most thing that you're grateful for?
The thing that I'm most grateful for, I had to say my daughter. You know what I'm saying? A child, for one, will put you in a fight or flight mode. You know what I'm saying? You're either gonna fight or you're gonna flight. But I think specifically for me, having a daughter, it changed my life simply because I can't give these tools to manipulate, to be malicious to women. I have to have a line. I'm not saying that you have to be Prince Charming. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that by being a father, it gives me a certain line that I don't cross, right? Not only that, the advantage that women have when it comes to kids is that they get to see their motivation every single day. You know why you're getting up to do this. So when you don't want to go to handle your business, you know why. You know what I'm saying? If you keep that picture in your wallet, you keep it in your truck, you see why. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the number one thing that I am grateful for is my little girl.
Yes, sir. Hey, OG, I appreciate you coming on the show. Like I said, taking time out your night to talk to me. And we definitely going to do a part 2 next week if that's cool with you.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe or to leave us a review on iTunes or the listening platform of your choice. Also, please check us out at QuinnMitchellII.com, as well as find us on Instagram for more useful content and resources.